research cannot stand in isolation. You have to relate it to other research which has already been done. So if you borrow the idea from other research, then if you call it as plagiarism, I just cannot do research at all. What plagiarism people would say is, you can borrow the idea. There is no hindrance for borrowing the idea, but acknowledge it properly. Borrowing the idea without attribution to earlier work is what plagiarism is. If you properly acknowledge, then it will not be considered as plagiarism at all. There are various style manuals available for properly citing the earlier works. For example, you must have heard about APA, American Psychological Association, MLA, Modern Language Association, Chicago Manual, IEEE, Vancouver. There are many. So you can adopt any one of them. And you can make sure that your work is not detected as a plagiarized work. Second thing that you need to know about the plagiarism is that if I told you can borrow the idea. When you borrow the idea, if you borrow it verbatim, sentence by sentence, word by word, letter by letter, then you have to put inverted commas. Then that will not be considered as plagiarized content. And there are ways of doing things that you will learn a little later. And otherwise, you need to paraphrase. So whatever Professor Sampath Kumar has said, I will say the same thing in a different way, using different words and different sentences, etc. But ethically, the research ethics comes into play now. Ethically, I still need to acknowledge, because it is his idea, it is not my idea, even if you paraphrase. But if you paraphrase and don't cite Professor Sampath Kumar, the plagiarism detection software may not detect it as a plagiarized content. You can fool it easily by paraphrasing. But the research ethics says that when you borrow the idea, acknowledge it. And coming back to our point, citation databases. Let me concentrate more on the citation database. Now, the databases can be categorized into three major categories. One is a bibliographic database. Second one is citation database. And the third one is the full text databases. Bibliographic databases means they contain the details of articles published along with the abstracts, but they will not contain the full text of the articles. What best you can find is the details and the abstract. A lot of databases are available like that. They are called bibliographic databases. Full text databases like JSTOR. There is a database called JSTOR, wherein not only you will get the bibliographical details, you will also get the full text of the articles. Another kind of database is there, which is citation database, which is very expensive database, and because it adds value to our search. The kind of result that you get, the kind of the articles that you get is really better than the the list that you get in other databases. Now, let me ask ourselves a basic question. Why do we want a database, whether it is a citation database or bibliographic database, in the first place? In fact, when we start a research, we have to identify a research topic. We don't have any idea of how a research topic would be and what kind of research that needs to be done, etc., etc. So you want a place where you can get a list of research topics in the form of journal articles. So in that cases, you want a database. It helps in identifying the topic and finalizing your topic also. Secondly, whenever you take a research, you need to know what works have already been conducted in that area, what previous research has been conducted. Where do we get this information? So it is in the databases. So you will be searching the databases to identify the previous literature, and some of them you will read, you will get an idea, you will identify the research gap, and then for that you need a database again. For literature review, you want a good database. Third, yes, I have identified a research topic, fine. Now, I want to conduct the research myself. I want to know the methodology that I need to adopt. I am aware of one or two methodologies. Are there any other methodologies available? Again, to find out the methodologies that people have carried out, you have to go back to database and search and try to find out the methodologies that you need to adopt, methodology or research design, whatever. And also for hypothesis forming. So, throughout your research process, for example, you have collected the data and you want to analyze. So, we will be stuck up. How to analyze? We don't know how to construct the table, how to analyze, how to interpret the data, etc. Again, we need to go back to the database to find out similar articles and try to borrow the techniques from there. So, for a researcher, a database is required every time, every day. So now, we will come back, we will focus our attention to a special kind of database called citation database. A citation database, in addition to the bibliographical details and abstract, it provides a quality information called citations. That means how many people have read that particular or have used that particular article and referred in their works. So, a citation database is something like a review system or a recommendation system. Nowadays we are used to that. Whenever we want to buy something online, we will go to the review portion and we see how many people have recommended. So, possibly based on that, we make our decision. Similar concept exists in the citation database. And I am not sure how many of you have seen Web of Science. Have you used the Web of Science? Or you have used it? So, let me demonstrate the Web of Science today. Web of Science. The term Web of Science, when I say, my students always think that it is something to do with the students of science. It is not so. Web of Science is a platform. It is just a platform. It contains 4 to 5 databases inside. It is an integrated database, and it contains minimum of 3 databases which we are interested. One is, it contains Science Citation Index. It is a database, science database, Science Citation Index. It also contains Social Science Citation Index, Social Science and Humanities Citation Index, and it contains the patent information also to some extent. So, Web of Science, don't shy away from using the Web of Science just because the word science is there. It is useful not only for the science subject but also for humanities and social sciences. There are 5 different citation databases available as of today. There are others in medical field, but because we are talking about science and humanities and social sciences here, I am saying there are only 5 of them. The first one is Web of Science and Scopus, Google Scholar, Dimensions, and one more has recently come, that is Smart Citation. Smart Citation is also picking up, which is Smart Citation AI. This word AI is becoming very popular. People were talking about ChatGPT in the morning, and possibly by the time you analyze your work, one more new AI is coming up, that is called Rose.ai, Rose, which will definitely replace Excel, SPSS and all other software. Rose.ai. So it is picking up very fast. It is a AI based spreadsheet application. It's not even a spreadsheet, it is a AI application, which analyzes your results very fast and in a unique manner. So you need to probably update yourself about that. Okay, coming back to the databases, citation databases. What we will do is, we will log into the citation database called Web of Science. Web of Science database ke ನಾವು login ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು we will see how exactly we need to search the database and what is the difference between the general searching and the citation based searching. Okay, and among the 4 databases that I have listed over there, Google Scholar is the free database. All others are subscription based databases. So possibly you have to consult your library to find out whether they can provide access to you for accessing these databases. You also know, you may be hearing that you have to publish an article if you want to get a PhD in an indexed databases such as WOS and Scopus. What is meant by what we mean by index mean, we have already talked about. It should get enlisted in that particular database. We will see that. Now we will go to Web of Science directly and search for the journal articles. Now here you can see this is the home page of Web of Science. I am remotely accessing the Web of Science from University of Mysore, and there are 2 such options available to you in Web of Science. One is documents search and another one is cited reference search. These two are slightly different. Okay, we need to know when we search the citation database. Document searching means you can give the author's name, the title or the keyword or whatever. So just like you search a Google Scholar, so just like you search a Google Scholar or a Google even, or Amazon. So just like you keywords you give and retrieve, or if you know the author, then you can retrieve. Cited reference means before starting the search, you know that